Welcome to Z3, everyone. Good evening from Asia, where I am. But for those of you joining from North America, good morning to you. And then good afternoon to those of you joining us from across Europe. This is truly a global event, and I'm truly excited to be here. Let me introduce myself. I'm Angie Lau, CEO, Editor-in-Chief, and founder of Forkast.News. But tonight, I will be your MC this entire event as we celebrate Zilliqa's 3rd anniversary. And just to tell you a little bit about Forkast.News, we've been here for the past 2 years. I've spoken to some of the top thought leaders across the space, and I'm going to do that for you right here live over the next few hours. Forkast.News covers blockchain, crypto, DLT at the intersection of business, politics, and economy. Tonight, we are at the intersection with you, Zilliqa, and Z3, and it's a thrill to really help moderate and guide and be the narrator of this journey for you tonight. Among the Zilliqa community, founding team, and partners, this is truly a global group of aligned people, of talent, and of course you who are logged in right now and supporting the Zilliqa team. It's a clear testament to what we've been monitoring right across this blockchain community. And it is truly decentralized, it's globalized, and that is the nature of this ecosystem, of this blockchain ecosystem. And beyond that, crypto is just growing each and every day, and more are understanding the value and also the solutions that this enterprise really brings. And you're all part of that. You're all part of the movement. So thanks for joining us tonight. And thanks for taking the time to log in from wherever you are around the world to join us at this 3rd anniversary town hall for Zilliqa. Today, we're going to get to hear from the experts behind Zilliqa. We're going to take this opportunity as well for you to reflect on the company's successes over the past year and more important, talk about where the Zilliqa ecosystem is going, where it's headed, and give you a chance to really get to know the Zilliqa team and their partners and maybe grill them a little bit, and I'll help you do that as well. The Zilliqa team also tells me that they've got some very exciting giveaways lined up for you, so you gotta stay logged in and tuned in for that. But throughout the event, really just a reminder that this is a town hall for you. So wherever you are joining in from wherever part of the world that you're logging in from, this is truly a conversation in which we hope that you will also participate. This is meant for you. So please feel free to send the team those questions via the Q&A button on your screen. You'll see it there. And we're going to get to as many questions, relevant questions as we can and ask them for you during the staff panel segment. Without further ado, let's just kick things off. We have a special guest of honor in our midst today, and I'm sure you all know him. This is about, I think, the 4th or 5th time we've spoken, and every time he has always got something really significant to say and very thoughtful to say about the steps that are being taken each year to push this movement, blockchain, crypto, and innovation just a little bit more forward, and truly history in the making, of which, of course, we're all here talking about tonight. So it's an absolute honor to bring in Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao to the virtual stage. CZ, how have you been? Angie. It's great to see you.
Pretty good. It's good to see you again. And I want to say happy birthday to Zilliqa.
It's a 3rd birthday for Zilliqa. It's an important moment to note, and you're an important part of that journey. Obviously, you've just been such an incredible leader in this space. There have been a lot of ups and downs, that's for sure. Just like everybody else, and right now we all kind of find ourselves in one of those global down moments. Nobody expected COVID to turn, really turning 2020 into one of the oddest years and one of the most challenging years. But you know what? That's kind of like status quo for all of us in the decentralized space that are already disrupting ourselves, that are already thinking about digital disruption and already engaging in it. And so I think the first question I think a lot of people would just love to hear from you, CZ, is how do you think the coronavirus pandemic has really shifted the needle for better or worse for the blockchain industry? And how have you dealt with it as well?
So I think for the blockchain industry, it's definitely net positive. Even though for the world, I think it's definitely net negative. But it has such an impact. It has such a big impact. It's causing economic halts throughout the world, and many of the companies, especially large ones, are struggling. The small ones as well. Many governments are struggling. So many of the governments are printing a lot of money, and that in turn looks like pumping up the stock market. But then eventually, soon the money will flow into crypto, and a lot of the fiat is devaluing at a very fast speed. So I think net overall now people are really discovering the benefits of crypto, and we're going through another sort of financial crisis caused by this pandemic or triggered by this pandemic. So and there's a lot of different tension in different parts of the world. So all of this kind of actually are good for crypto. That's actually pushing more people to adopt cryptocurrencies. So we didn't want to see this, but for the industry it's actually good. But it speaks to the fact that crypto does solve a real problem here, and that effect is actually showing. So every number we're seeing, the crypto industry is growing. So we're kind of lucky in that sense. For Binance, we've been working from home for the last 2.5 years, so we didn't have a lot of impact there. And Zilliqa is one of the earliest projects we did a community voting. I think they got on in a community voting in 2018. So it's great to see the project still doing really well. They're still pushing forward. 3 years is a long time in the crypto space. So that's really good to see. I think the stronger projects actually emerging and pushing forward. That's really good.
Well, if you do the math, I mean, most of us went through the crypto winter, and we, I can't say unscathed, but certainly the survivors are definitely stronger as a result. But certainly you're right. In a decentralized world, we can still really press forward. But there's no doubt that there is a personal impact on your global teams and really for teams around the world. And so how have you, even just communicated within your own teams, but also partner companies and portfolio companies, teams from the startup space and then everywhere in between who are really just trying to navigate right now?
I'm not sure if I understand the question correctly. For Binance, we just have a decentralized team. Everybody does what they think is best to grow this industry, and that kind of works. For independent teams, I think Zilliqa is a really good example of that started in 2017 during the crazy period. They did well during the crazy period, but they also did well during the crypto winter. So they continue to push through, continue to forge forward. So that's really, really important. And we've seen a crypto winter. Now we're kind of getting the spring again. So the projects who have really pushed forward we know who they are now. So I think for other smaller teams, it's really critical to survive. So if you're a small team with not such a big cash reserve, just surviving in this economic environment is an achievement, and it's really important to do. So just surviving, making sure that you have enough funds, you have enough reserves, and continue to build your product. Just disregard, if you can do that, then disregard the external factors. Just continue to build products that people will use. So it's really critical to listen to your users and get users. If you don't have that kind of funding, then it's really critical to get funding, which is pretty tough right now, I would say. But people are still doing IEOs, people are still raising money, people are still forging forward, and people are still releasing tokens, etc. So there are ways to forge forward. And I think, to be honest, in the crypto industry now, I think we're already feeling the sort of temperature coming back. So there's a lot of excitement in the industry now. And there's a lot of excitement in the new spaces like DeFi, etc. So there's a lot of opportunities there as well. Overall it's pretty exciting. But for my advice to people is really just to build products people will use.
Let's talk about the DeFi space. It's blowing up. I mean, the interest there is just phenomenal. Do you think, as you monitor the space, are there any use cases or applications that you're keeping a close eye on?
Yes, I think DeFi is a pretty interesting. There's some really interesting innovations in DeFi. Initially, like everybody thinks of DeFi as, okay, we lend people, like the decentralized platform for lending. So they started that way, but then there's some really interesting concepts like yield farming, like staking, evolved out of staking, that actually really increases the liquidity of they don't have order books, but really just increases the liquidity of trading. So people actually locking their funds into a pool that actually provides liquidity for other people who wants to trade. So there's some really innovative solutions being invented there. And to be honest, I would say a year ago, if somebody told me, or if I told somebody else that stablecoin trading is going to be a thing, a year later, people will think I'm crazy, right? But today we're actually seeing that the stablecoin trading is a thing, and that's actually triggering the sort of this rise in the crypto space. So it's really, really fascinating. But I think there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of projects who are just sort of, again, launching a token to call themselves DeFi and DeFi everything, copy all the concepts, copy all the jargon, try to raise money and do stuff. But those kind of stuff are not so good. But I think fundamentally, DeFi does have a core that there's a lot of business ideas that make sense, which is really interesting, and that's why they're getting traction.
That's why I always like to talk to you, CZ, because you always kind of see the future. You always project. Sometimes people go, "Oh, what's going on?" And you watch it again, and it's always really interesting to hear what you think. And so, in 5 years, where do you think DeFi is going to be?
To be very honest, I think I'm just speculating here, very high possibility to be wrong. So I think right now we're seeing a lot of hype. It's probably going to be, I don't think it's going to be as big as the ICO sort of craze, but we're going to see a rise. And then there will be a bunch of projects who will fail. So then we'll see a cooling down. But I think after the sort of the wave, something will stay. So some of the stronger projects will stay. There will be some pools or yield farming or something along those lines. I think one of the key innovations in the space is that now you can stake your money. You can use your money that you don't use. So if I'm a holder, you can put it in a pool, and then that helps other people generate or that helps with other people's liquidity, and you get a return on staking that. So that's a real use case. I think does make sense. So some healthy form of that will be retained. Right now, the competition is too crazy. Everyone wants to give higher rebates, higher rewards. Those things don't last. So be very careful if you're chasing those high yield, high return things. Those things are always high risk. But I think after a couple of years, after every new idea goes through this sort of crazy period and then cool down period, and then something will stay. I think even if we look at ICOs, a lot of the ICOs are bad to the point where ICO is kind of like a bad word now. But blockchain fundraising does work. So a lot of companies, including Binance, have came through using blockchain fundraising, and we built platforms that actually benefited some of our early investors. So a lot of those fundamental concepts do stay. But again, in a new industry, I would say 90% of the project will fail. So if you invest, keep that in mind. So don't blame other people for failures in the future. But I think of the 10% or less that is successful, they'll be huge. So they'll be 10 times or 100 times bigger than the guys who failed. So the industry will still grow.
It's important to be educated in this space. I mean, this is why we're all here. But it's also important to have really good partners in the space. And I do note that you have an exciting partnership with some of the top cryptocurrencies in the space. What stands out for you about Zilliqa?
I think Zilliqa is just a team that's like constantly pushing forward, mostly keeping their heads down and just building. So that's a quality that we really like, and so it's quite easy to sort of work with teams that build, and so we actually have multiple sort of partnerships or initiatives going on. I actually don't know which ones are public per se. So I mean, Zilliqa is one of the first community winners in March 2018, I think. And then we are working on putting our stablecoin BUSD on their network. And there are a number of other collaborations that's going on. We have Zilliqa in our savings platform as well, in Binance Savings, or it used to be called Binance Staking, but it's now called Binance Savings. So there's a number of initiatives going on, and I think we just added Zilliqa into the Binance Widget app, and so that now people can buy it directly through the Binance Widget. Zilliqa also added the widget on their own website, I think. And so there's a lot of little collaborations going on. And I think we got a big one coming up. I'm actually not sure if it's announced yet, so I don't want to pre-announce that.
Hey, we love breaking news. You know me, I'm a news girl at heart, so I'm fine if you want to break some news. But, well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, I think we have a learning program with them coming up, and there's some other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of little stuff, and I think some bigger stuff as well. I actually don't know all the details myself.
Well, you know what? We'll pick up this chat where we left off, because it's always too short whenever I talk to you, CZ. So we're going to have to pick this up again, and we're going to just stay tuned for that. But CZ, just want to thank you so much for your time today. You know, it was great to chat with you again, and certainly at this very, very lovely occasion called ZIL-3. So CZ, thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, and happy birthday to Zilliqa. Cheers.
Thanks, CZ. All right, he's always got something great to say, and you know, we'll pick that conversation up at some point on Forkast. But it's always really just fascinating to reflect on a company's journey and their motivations and what truly makes them successful. So talking to the leadership and the visionaries behind the idea is one way to uncover more. So let's do it right now. Let's talk to some of the co-founders behind Zilliqa. Each has his unique strengths: business, tech, computer science, and together they make an incredible and terrific team, and a combination that has truly brought this platform to life. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all.
Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, Angie.
So, hey, Zilliqans, let me introduce you to, of course, the guys, Max, Kantelia, Amrit, Kumar, Juzar, Motiwalla. So Max, as you know, is co-founder of Zilliqa and CEO of Onchain, and a serial entrepreneur for over 25 years. Max has built technology product solution companies for the financial services industry across 3 continents. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon. He's got it all covered. We've got Amrit Kumar there. He's also co-founder and president and chief scientific officer at Zilliqa. Amrit is the president and co-founder of Zilliqa, as you know, focusing predominantly on areas of security, privacy, and applied cryptography. And his research has been widely published at conferences such as IEEE, IFIP, and IFIP TC-11 SEC. Amrit is also a PhD doctorate from Université Grenoble's Alpes in France, and was hosted at INRIA's Grenoble Center. And we've got, last but not least, to tell you about Juzar Motiwalla, of course, co-founder of Onchain Capital. This is a Singapore-based group of technology companies building state-of-the-art blockchain and cybersecurity platforms for financial services, and he's a venture capitalist with decades of experience, and focuses on technology investments in Silicon Valley and in Asia, 2 of my favorite regions in the world. So guys, thank you so much for joining us, and everybody who's logged in. Really can't wait to hear from you all, because for the past 3 years, you have really brought research to life to make Zilliqa a global competitive company that has achieved utility and adoption. So we've been noting that. So as you look back, how would you say that what has been the best part, the most prominent part, the most professional kind of highlight that you have since 2017? Max, I'll start with you. Sure,
Angie. Well, first of all, a happy 3rd birthday to all of the team and to the entire community out there. It's a very important landmark for us. So highlights, Angie. For me, that's quite a simple one. I believe in the power of people more than anything else inside even a tech company. And for me, it's just been watching, nurturing, mentoring some of our team members, some of there since day zero, develop into far better performers than I think they ever thought they could be. And not just as technologists or as business people, but as human beings. And you're going to hear a lot from some of those later on today, so you'll see what I mean. I think achieving mainnet launch in 2019 was a huge achievement. And when we see so many projects having been born around the same time, haven't even succeeded in building a test net yet, we can't undermine how big an achievement that actually was at the time. Challenges from me, I guess, not comprehending the enormity of this task. And there were what we call in the UK some doubting Thomases who said it could never be done, to achieve a sharding-based blockchain with its own secure smart contract layer, and we did it. But I think we underestimated the amount of time and effort and that was a huge challenge. I think we would all agree.
Well, sometimes you have to get a little bumps to reach new climbs. Juzar, I want to ask you: is Zilliqa where you thought it would be in 2020, or did you have a completely different vision?
Well, first of all, Angie, there's one thing that I didn't expect to see, and that's diversity, the diversity in our team. I never imagined I would be sitting next to someone from St. Petersburg or Copenhagen, someone from the beaches of Philippines, mountains of India, and it's just a wonderful, diverse global team, just as our community is and our partners are. Did we expect the platform to be fully operational, scalable, and secure for developers? And well ahead of others in the competitive space that have talked about scalability and sharding? Yes, we fully expected that. That was in our position paper. And again, it's due to this amazing team that we have. The numbers that we have today, 6 million transactions, I see that popping up on our screen earlier, 500,000 wallets, 2,400 nodes. The directionality we expected. The specific numbers are, of course, a delight to observe. There's also been an unpredictable part of our journey. Let me take a simple, and it's not only for us, but for people in the blockchain space. Let me take a simple analogy from the internet era. The first winners were those at the infrastructure layer, those who could make distributed systems work with routers, protocols. Tools came next. But what after that? If you look at the Netscape browser, within 3 short years, you saw 3 revolutions taking place. The first revolution was, it was used for the intranet. Second revolution, businesses started talking to each other. And then in the third phase, it became the consumer internet. And then it kind of rotated and it all stabilized. Now we're seeing something similar in our space here. And first came the miners and the protocols, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zilliqa. What was not obvious then and may not be fully obvious is in which sectors will emerge as the winners. Is it games, supply chains? There is, as you mentioned earlier and CZ talked about, there's the emergence of universal payments, decentralized finance, and that's something we'll talk about later. When I spoke at our first Zilliqa Day, I spoke about how we started this as a tightly knit team of 9 huddled in a cubbyhole. For those of you who have just joined our community, you might wonder where Zilliqa emanates from. It is meant to be the silicon of blockchains. And that's what we're all about. And that's what our expectation is from when we started and where we will be. If you think of a wafer, it's polished like a mirror. We are here to enable effortless, seamless transactions and interactions.
Well, I'm hearing some great journeys, but Amrit, I'm going to ask you the tough question because, there were challenges, there were obstacles, and we heard from Max and Juzar that really the diversity of the team and just the people, no doubt got you through it. But can you recount in this, past couple of years, that one moment where you thought, and how you overcame it, how the team overcame it?
Yeah, so I was expecting the easiest question of all, but I think Max and Juzar probably took the easiest ones. So for me, when you start, there are different stages of research, right? You first identify the problem that you want to solve, and then you ideate. You think of how to solve that problem, and then you execute. So you implement. You try to see whether the solution that you are looking for is actually going to work. So for us, problem was very easy because we knew from the very beginning that blockchain space was facing the scalability issues. For example, we were seeing attacks happening on DAO, or we were seeing hacks like that happening, on smart contracts. So we knew what problems we were facing in this real world. Then the next step was basically ideation, but which was kind of the more complicated bit for us. So the good thing was that we had done some work at the National University of Singapore on scalability and using sharding as a solution for scalability. And together with one of our another colleagues and collaborators who was at UCL London, we were looking at smart contract safety as well. So ideation part was basically covered for us. And then it all boiled down to how to kind of execute that. And the fact remains that there's a huge gap between what you see in theory. So when you say, okay, this is my solution to the problem, implementing that and putting the engineering effort is not so straightforward. So I think this is where the basic challenge was. And in the end, we actually saw every single day when we were trying to implement something popped up. Something popped up where we didn't know the answer to that question. And it's not that you can just Google around and you'll find a solution to that problem. So that was, I would say, the biggest problem. And the other basic problem for us was that we were the first one to do it. So, for example, Ethereum was talking about sharding, but it was all in theory and on papers. But we were the first one to be able to show and actually take the first effort to implement that in practice. And it was a very tough challenge, especially also in front of when you commit to deadlines and publicly. You said, okay, we are going to finish this in Q3 or Q4. That also adds a lot of pressure to it. So you have problems, both engineering and research problems that you have to solve, and that too in a very limited time span. And that I would say that was the most challenging bit for us.
Well, I got to ask you the same question I started with CZ. This is just this is something that is on all our minds. This is something that is inescapable, and it feels like at times things are getting worse. And of course, I'm talking about the pandemic. It is the world as we knew it no longer exists. That is just a reality that we're all facing today. It's been a very difficult year, and it's shown how fragile industries can really be. At the same time, Zilliqa is considering how it can become self-sufficient. I mean, the timing is very challenging to become self-sufficient in the coming years in terms of revenue and growth. How do you hope to achieve that? And I'll ask this of Max.
Okay, it's Angie. The way that I look at life, as my colleagues will tell you, is I always look at analogy. And let me give you a very simple analogy here, which is that I feel that 3 years is a very short time in certainly in many different ways, but it's about the time that it takes for somebody to get their first degree. Okay, and if you're an engineer like many of us at Zilliqa are by training, that's typically how long it takes to get your first. Now, during your degree, you also do these things that are called industrial placements, where you test what you've been learning in the classroom. And that's good. But like many engineers do, after you come to the end of your 3-year degree, you want to go to business school, because actually you want to learn about how you take what you've learned in the classroom and in those placements into the big bad world and actually commercialize. So I think we've got our first degree. We're 3 years old, and to go to business school. And actually, for us now, joking aside, commercialization and mainstream adoption of Zilliqa are really the most important priorities. And we're going to hear later on from some of our colleagues today about exciting new projects, exciting new partnerships, new initiatives that are going to accelerate this commercialization and revenue generation part. Already, for those that know about the team and how that's been growing over particularly the past year, since we launched our mainnet, we've also been bringing more people into the team that can build industrial strength technology and have experience of working with enterprise customers. So that's really front of stage for us right now, Angie.
Got it. Thank you, Max. And another big thing, obviously, that we're monitoring is open finance ecosystem. So, Juzar, I'm wondering, what do you think the biggest problem or barrier currently exists today that you need to overcome to actually achieve that open finance ecosystem that everybody is enthusiastic about?
Yes, as CZ mentioned, 90% of projects are going to fail, and there are some substantive and substantial reasons that are there, and there'll be a hype and it'll come down, just as in the blockchain world, but eventually it becomes a large marketplace. Open finance, of course, refers to permissionless and transparent financial services and products. As CZ has said, and Amrit very often mentions, in the blockchain world, events move fast. ZZ said in 3 years, it's an eternity. But at the same time, while there's a constant experimentation that's going on, where we're searching for new ideas, the trends that emerge to a large addressable market, that take place over time. And we're in it for seeing it through that time horizon, and we're glad that we're in that 10% that is persisting and succeeding. So what I'm betting on are two trends: that open finance will be far bigger than fintech is today. Fintech itself is a recent growth market, and it serves several $1 trillion worldwide. But open finance will be that major growth sector, and it will drag other sectors along with it: games, marketing, e-commerce, supply chains. It's the as we said, it's the silicon, the smooth facilitation of transactions in open finance will drag other sectors. Right. So your question is, what are the issues? What's going to the adoption model is critical here, right? So first of all, you need to have, in the fintech world, in open finance, you need to have software talking to other software. How do you handle regulation? How do you connect across different applications? How do you cross geographies? How do you have interoperability? And this is why we are building an ecosystem of partners, of software talking to software, so that we can solve these issues that I mentioned about regulation and so on. But there's a more substantial problem that will face us, and this is very significant, and that is that if you want to have the value of inclusivity, accessibility, and affordability that open finance promises, the biggest adoption hurdle is for consumers and small businesses to trust a trustless system. We have some speculations on what will need to be done, and we will be trialing these with partners, but that is going to be the major challenge.
Got it. Thanks, Juzar. Well, we're almost out of time, but I got to ask you this wider family question. We're watching Zilliqa Onchain relationship here. How has Onchain evolved, and where does Zilliqa fit into this equation as we wrap things up next?
Okay, I'll try and keep it brief, Angie. But Onchain turns 5 this year, and our initial vision for Onchain had always been that we wanted to build a mini ecosystem around this technology. And the way in which we were going to do that was to take original academic research from the lab, and we were going to turn that research into technology, and ultimately that technology into ventures. So over the last 5 years, we have actually done exactly that. And we've created, obviously, Zilliqa from a piece of research around sharding and how you create scalability. We've obviously created a smart contract language, which is secure by design. For our other 2 companies that we've launched, Enclave, which is based upon research on something called hardware-rooted security. We're hurtling towards building some incredible products that make the worlds of security and privacy very important. And finally, Aqilliz, which I believe you're going to hear a little bit more about later on, which is a marketing and advertising tech company. And that business is now doing some incredible things based on research around two buzzwords I'm going to give you, which you should go away and Google. One is learning, and the second is differential privacy. Learn about those two things, because they are going to become very, very important to all of us as consumers of things like digital advertising. Also, other than that, Angie, we actually invested in some amazing things. So I'll give you the example of 1031 Bank in Germany. And 1031 Bank in Germany is a really progressive digital bank that is headed by a hard-charging German CEO called I am working with Matthias very closely, and all I can tell you at the moment is that we're waiting for some very important regulatory approvals to come through, and then you're going to start seeing a very clear roadmap for how the bank will work with Onchain Ventures. But Zilliqa is right at the heart of everything that we do, because it is the core engine, it's the protocol. And so I think that, we're hoping we're going to see a lot of new companies and happening alive on top of Zilliqa. And Onchain is just one of the players on the planet today that is helping to facilitate that. But it's when you see all of this coming together that we're going to see 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Well, Max, I'm going to borrow your love of analogies, and it sounds like Zilliqa is the engine, the fuel, and everything else is the spoke and the engineering of one of the fastest vehicles that we hope to see in this really broad ecosystem of innovation that we're seeing across the blockchain space. It's really great to see. Thank you, Max, Juzar, Amrit, for this. And really learning at a more deeper level and a more candid level, certainly, about the real people who are driving this forward. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Angie.
Thank you.
Well, it's been incredible to hear about Zilliqa's journey directly from these innovators, from the mouths and the industry pioneers themselves. But next, we're going to be moving on to spotlighting some videos for you right now from key ecosystem partners. Now, these partners really hail from diverse industries. It just goes to show how these applications of blockchain can truly be limitless, whether applied to MarTech or entertainment or fintech payments, even the development of secure digital assets. So let's kick off these next series of presentations in the ecosystem segment with an overview on tokenization by Han-Wen Chua, VP of Ecosystem Growth.
Hello everyone, I'm Han-Wen, the VP of Ecosystem Growth at Zilliqa. And today I'm going to touch on a topic that's of high regards to you guys, and that is the tokenomics changes towards ZIL. This is going to be phrased as the Zilliqa Improvement Proposal, the ZIP, and we're going to request for comments from the community members before we implement it. But we are kicking things off as of today. So what is the tokenomics changes that we're looking at? First, we have to look at the verticals that we want to actually focus on in the next coming quarters. We want to really create a circular economy for ZIL, and that really comes in three aspects. First, we will have to tackle the staking for ZIL, so that it rewards the holders for actually holding on top of ZIL, and that's going to be implemented through the seed node staking program with delegation in place coming Q3 this year. And second, we want to power the open finance ecosystem using ZIL as the medium of exchange and also as the liquidity incentive to try to pull some liquidity over from, for example, the Ethereum chain. And the ultimate aim really for this open finance ecosystem within Zilliqa is to try to bridge between the ASEAN world and also with the US world, between ASEAN stablecoins like IDR, VND, against the USDC and USDT. And last of all, we're going to talk about how we can accrue value towards ZIL as the ZIL transactions happen to increase over time as adoption actually happens. So there's growth in the economy of ZIL. And that's by means of actually burning the transaction fees in terms of ZIL. And we're going to burn it in a way that is actually recycled back into the 0x0 address where the block rewards pool actually comes from. So to summarize, is that the tokenomics changes is really about creating incentive for people to stake and also incentive for people to hold on to ZIL as it accrues value as the Zilliqa blockchains get adopted more and more. And there's three means of doing that, which is transaction fees is going to be burnt. The DS block reward has to be increased in order to accommodate for the stakers rewards pool. So we have to actually increase the annual inflation by about 40%. And we also have to reallocate some of the DS block rewards. Instead of 95% to 5% right now for miners versus stakers, we're going to change it up a bit to 60-40%. So what it means really for the miners actually is that with the increase in block rewards and also the reallocation, they will face actually a minus 12% from their current rewards. And we are going to talk to them about actually giving them a seed node so that they can operate and also be able to stake their mine rewards directly into the rewards pool so that there's no selling pressure in some sense. And they also get rewarded in the staking program. So what it means with all these tokenomics changes for staking. First, with delegated staking coming up in Q3, let's put that aside. We actually have a few delegated seed node operators that's all going to come on board. And that's really just the Zilliqa people, the community that's amazing. And the Mullet, well, amazing wallet. And there's our favorite field block explorer that's going to operate one of the seed node operators. And the Atomic wallet, which has already committed also at the same time. And for staking, going forward with the tokenomics changes, we can actually uncap it, so we don't have to cap it at 610 million ZILs, which is in phase 0 right now. So phase 1 will be uncapped. And with the uncapped, right, we also want to try to hit some staking interest that is of interest to people. So if the staking interest rate is actually quite low, people might not want to stake. And that is where, with all the parameters changes that we're suggesting, at an 80% circulating supply stake, we can also have about more than 6% interest rate for the holders. So this is the outlook that we're looking at. And if you really want to take a look at how the interest rate changes according to the circulating supply that's being staked, you can see that as if there's very little interest in the staking, the interest rate is quite high, so that people have more interest into staking it. And it could go up to 48% at the start, where there's no circulating supply being staked, and then going all the way to somewhere around 6% when there's 80% stake. If 100% is being staked, we can still have at least 4% of interest rate for the holders. But with all these changes, right, for the emission cycles, and also with you can see actually that might be some inflation going on. So how are we going to combat that? And that's where the burning of transaction fees comes in. So if what we want to achieve is that if the transaction fees that's being burned is more than the block rewards that's being newly minted and added to the circulating supply, you can actually have a very low net inflation going on, and also even net deflation going on. And we're going to approach that by doing two things. First, we're going to change the gas mechanics, increasing the transaction gas limit for the blocks by 185% to accommodate more transactions, so that we can have higher throughput, more transactions, and more transaction fees being burned. We're going to reduce a bit of the seller operating gas consumption because of the increase in the decrease in the execution time that we have done with seller operations, thanks to our optimization of the platform. This will try to reduce the gap between the gas cost for payment transactions and also the smart contract transactions. And last, we're going to increase the minimum gas price by 100%, so from 0.001 ZIL to 0.0020 ZIL. This will overall increase the gas cost in order to facilitate more burning of transaction fees. So these are the three different changes for the gas mechanics we are proposing ahead. And with that, actually you can see the effects on transaction fees. So if, let's say, we have a conservative number, 50% of the transaction block of 2.5 million gas being filled at any point of time, then you can translate that to around a net inflation of about 1.22%. And 50% filled block actually is not that hard to achieve for a high throughput blockchain, because it translates to about 120 transfers for ZRC2 tokens per second, 120 ZRC2 token transfers per second. And you think about it, it's actually really, really possible, considering all the stablecoins that we're going to mint with our partners, and we're going to bridge across, and all the utility tokens that we can power using the Zilliqa blockchain. So definitely, 50%, I feel that is achievable. And if actually you see that if our transactions actually scales, our adoption actually scales with time going forward, if the average fill block is more than 60%, you can have even net deflation going on. And that is one key factor. Net deflation could actually decrease the circulating supply in the entire supply pool, and we will be able to make ZIL more scarce, and also accrue more value towards ZIL as the growth of the platform actually increases. So how are we going to power so many transactions on top of Zilliqa? How are we going to actually create the growth within Zilliqa ecosystem? And that's really through the open finance initiative that we are going to spearhead with the ZilHive growth program that we have. ZilHive growth program is going to be a 3 pillars program, where there's educational side to educate people about Zilliqa and blockchain. And we have the grants side, which is going to give out grants towards people who are building proof of concept, and also infrastructure toolings for Zilliqa. And there's also the accelerator program that we're creating with the Tribe Accelerator team in order to incubate and accelerate companies that are building open finance products on top of Zilliqa blockchain. And if you take a look at the open finance technological stack right now, you can actually see that we have pretty mature layer 1 and layer 0, and we are looking to build up the layer 2 and 3 currently. And one of the key achievement that we will have for layer 3 is going to be the DEX that's coming out in Q3 2020 this year. That's the DEX that we're building together with our partner Switcho, called ZilSwap. And with the ZilSwap DEX, we can actually power the higher level layers, for example the app layer, where there's the lending facilities, lending protocols, remittance services, and C2B cross-border payments. So these are the people that we are, the app layers are people we are looking for currently, actively. And if you have any of the leads, business leads coming forward, please email them to enquiry@zilliqa.com, and I will actually relay back to you guys on that as much as possible. And the immediate plans for open finance in Zilliqa. So with ZIL-Swap actually launching in Q3 this year, the first thing that we're going to do is to create a liquidity pool for ZIL XSGD pair. And we're going to actually create a liquidity incentive for people to mint XSGD on the Xfers platform, and also pool their ZIL XSGD that's minted into the liquidity pool. And they will receive rebate tokens in return, which could be in the form of ZIL itself, or could be in the form of ZRC tokens. And we are still in the midst of discussing the mechanics and details together with our partner Sucho. The rewards for the rebate tokens will be put up on a weekly basis, so that the liquidity providers can actually claim the rewards on a weekly basis. And we're going to set up the same incentive structure for other tokens that are going ahead for the liquidity pools. So one of which is actually the Focus, which is ZIL BUSD pair, after the ERC20 to ZRC2 breach by the Sucho team is created. There are also more stablecoins that we're targeting, like for example USDC, USDT, and we want to suck as much liquidity away from other blockchains like Ethereum, Tron, into Zilliqa as possible. The Sucho breach is targeted to launch in Q4 of this year, and we're going to integrate it directly into the ZIL-Swap exchange, so it'll be easy for people to interface with it. So what we really think of the open finance user experience will be like for example, for the use case of cross-border C2B, cross-border settlement. And if you take a look at the trade between Bob, who is a user, and Alice, who is a merchant, Bob will just deposit the SGD into Xfers and receive the newly minted XSGD in his Mullet wallet, and he will use the XSGD to pay using Mullet towards Alice, directly within the wallet itself. And if Mullet already integrated ZIL-Swap exchange APIs inside it, Alice could actually receive BUSD directly, because there's a swap going in the background that's happening. The backend is trying to power this. So Alice doesn't really have to have any exposure to SGD at all. She could just receive BUSD for her goods and services from Bob. And what Alice can do after, she can use the ZBUSD that she has within her Mullet wallet and put it and deposit it into Binance exchange and receive USD in return in her bank account. So this is kind of like the whole user experience we'll see for cross-border C2B settlements that going forward. And what are the future plans for OpFi adoption? So first thing first, we're going to create open API connectors on ZIL-Swap DEX, and with that we can actually integrate easily into wallets services, for example Mullet, as we explained earlier, and also with other things like lending services, which also requires the DEX in the middle. And this will make it so that the open finance ecosystem and Zilliqa is more composable, and you can build layers upon layers of financial technology on top of it, and you'll create a permissionless innovation of open finance stack on top of it. And we're also going to talk to more issuers of ASEAN stablecoins, such as the focus is going to be on like the IDR, which is the Indonesian rupee, and also VND, which is Vietnam Dong. We're currently in the midst of discussing with our partners right now in order to create and mint such tokens, stablecoins. And once they are minted, we are also going to create liquidity pool incentives for the ZIL IDR pair and the ZIL VND pair on top of ZIL-Swap. So we can facilitate more FX trades between, for example, SGD to IDR, IDR to USD, and also VND to USD and VND to SGD. We're also going to work with centralized exchanges to help list ZIL fiat pair, for example, ZIL IDR and ZIL VND on more centralized exchanges out there that are popular, so that we can create a more liquid market there. And the market makers for the ZIL-Swap DEX could arbitrage between the centralized exchange pair and also the pair on top of the ZIL-Swap DEX, so that it can maintain the packs and to prevent the spread on the ZIL-Swap DEX from being too much. So this is the few things that we're really going to work ahead in order to make sure that we can actually facilitate such cross-border settlements and trade finance, and also other kind of use cases that we might not have think of. But last of all, we're also going to work on compliance tools. Open finance must actually work together with the regulators in order to be compliant in future. And that's going to be one of the main focus for Zilliqa going forward. We're going to work with our partners within ZIL-3 in order to create compliance tools in order to fulfill things like the AML laws, to fulfill the KYC requirements, and also the FTA travel rule that is going to be implemented by June of 2021 next year. So we're going to be the first mover in that. We want to push ahead with this and create a compliant and also open finance ecosystem on top of Zilliqa. So with that, I'll conclude this presentation. Thank you very much for your time for listening to me. I hope you have a happy 3rd anniversary for Zilliqa. Happy ZIL-3 Day. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Conn, and I'm the head of corporate development here at Zilliqa Research. And I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to join you here at ZIL-3. As you just heard from Hanwen, our ecosystem growth VP, there is a lot of opportunity and a lot of growth taking place on our blockchain. Through our ZIL-Hive grant program, we've seeded and seen successes in a number of opportunities across our blockchain. Building on this, we feel and strongly believe we have the opportunity to make our blockchain even more competitive and geared up for even further growth. And with that, we are announcing the creation of Zilliqa Capital, an ecosystem fund focused on the Zilliqa blockchain. Our objective is to become the central investment hub for the Zilliqa blockchain ecosystem, and to accelerate the growth of Zilliqa's thriving ecosystem of developers, startups, and the community, with the goal to cement our place as a leading blockchain platform in the APAC region, with a specific focus on ASEAN and India. We're looking to make focused investments in next-generation fintech solutions and truly create an open and interoperable financial network. From a business model perspective, we're looking to take the funds that we raise, of which will probably be between 50 to 200 million, and deploy meaningful amounts of that into ZILs and the Zilliqa blockchain, taking private equity and venture capital-like investment positions in the companies we invest in. The key subsectors that we will focus on are payments, remittances, lending, insurance, and investments. And we feel that based on the strong team and the strong platform we have, we'll be able to build this and build a robust business around it. From a fundraising perspective, we're looking at a two-step process. We're aiming to raise 15 million in a private placement, of which 10 million, or the bulk of that, will go directly into Zilliqa Research. And we'll utilize the bulk of what we raise to fund an STO, raising 50 to 200 million US to create a permanent capital vehicle that will allow us and sustain investments into and around the Zilliqa Research ecosystem through Zilliqa Capital. From a leadership perspective, I will be transitioning over time from my role as head of corporate development into the CEO role of Zilliqa Capital, building upon my prior experience as an investment manager in and around the blockchain and traditional financial space. My partner in this venture will be Dr. Amrit Kumar, the president and co-founder of Zilliqa. Amrit will continue in his role as president of Zilliqa, continuing with his leadership there, and will contribute his time as needed in his role as co-chief investment officer of Zilliqa Capital. We are very excited about this opportunity and this venture, and we'll have a number of items to update you on through Q3. So please keep posted, and we will look to be in touch with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And welcome to a short segment on our MarTech relationship. People should know that we are close partners with a company called Aqilliz, and we have the pleasure of the company of G-Man, CEO of Aqilliz. And we're going to have a 5-minute fireside just to talk through the relationship between Zilliqa and Aqilliz and touch on some of the issues concerning blockchain and MarTech. So, G-Man, great to see you. Welcome to our town hall. I think there's quite a few people streaming, watching what we're doing, and people have a lot of questions. I've been following the community for more than 6 months now and seeing all the questions on the relationship between Zilliqa and Aqilliz. It would be great to get a quick elevator pitch, introduction to what it is and what you do, and then we'll jump into some of those questions.
Oh, thanks for this, Colin, and here is wishing Zilliqa a happy anniversary, the 3rd year. And it's 3 years for Zilliqa and it is 3 quarters for Aqilliz. They've been 9 months old. And each of these 3 quarters have been an absolutely fascinating experience. So when we started Aqilliz in October last year, the demand or the focus or the attention was all about transparency in the marketing space, right? Everybody was talking about programmatic value chain, supply chain transparency, and so on and so forth. And just within 100 days, Google pulled the plug on the cookies on January. And then the attention shifted from transparency to identity. And even before we could settle down for 3 months, COVID came and did another change in the industry, where today we are, after 9 months, talking about accelerated digital transformation. So Aqilliz has been riding a bump after the bump. But the reality is that all these 3 are what we call as tailwinds for our growth than the headwinds we normally see. At the cost of being insensitive, COVID has only accelerated Aqilliz's ambitions and plans right now. Okay? So that's at the context. Okay? And to those who are listening, and some of those who follow me as well on my both Aqilliz and the personal handle, Aqilliz is extremely proud to be building its applications on Zilliqa, and while the conventional speech is all about fintech and blockchain and related topics, like what Juzar alluded to, I think we are getting towards OpFi, which is where e-commerce comes in, consumer rewards comes in, and so the entire attention is shifted towards how do we get this closer to the consumer. And that's where marketing comes in. And so we have spent a good amount of time educating the marketing industry on blockchain and removing some unwanted stigma around it. So I think we have been extremely successful on that so far. So what I really wanted to share to the community is we are in a very good position where we have done 3 good strategic partnerships, which we are good to announce. Some are announced, but to elaborate on that, we took the entire focus on saying that it is just not television, but we have partnered with a company called Moving Balls. Along with them, we are going to be providing the entire blockchain platform for digital out of home. So it's a huge and growing business, and digital screens are there everywhere, Internet of Things and the edge devices on which we're going to use. That's a very big area of focus. We have signed a good partnership with them, and you will see more news coming out of it in the next 2-3 quarters. The second and the most important thing is we just announced bot mitigation and human tracking of advertisements through our strategic partnership with WhiteOps. WhiteOps is a very leading fraud and bot mitigation company. So all our Aqilliz products are by default will be coming up with, will be integrating WhiteOps as our fraud mitigation partner. That's a very big story to take to the market, to say that Aqilliz is guaranteeing humans actually viewing commercials and advertisements and not bots. Third is, you'll soon hear about it. It is not confidential, but let it come when it comes, is about identities. We are now moving to a world where even as the antitrust hearings are going on with the big tech yesterday and today, we are strategically partnering with a company called Brightpool, with whom we are going to get straight into identity resolution and using a world beyond cookies, where first-party data can be used for consumer targeting. So to my mind, to the community, Moving Walls, Brightpool, and White Ops are extremely long-range strategic partnerships we are done with. That's giving us a good headwind, Colin. But I think I would leave that to the stage to ask me any more clarification questions, because I'm sure you must have compiled a lot from feedback I got from the community.
Yeah, I mean, one of the key questions is how do we work together, both at a technical and a commercial level? And I think we can talk to our partnership. Over the last 6 months, it's been great working with you, that's for sure. We've gone through a lot of conversations with potential clients and partners. How does the partnership boost the blockchain volumetrics, the transactions, the business models that we're looking into, and maybe some hints at some of the other projects we're working on, which are quite exciting, but as you said, you can't quite name just yet.
Yeah, good. I think we owe it to the community. So I will leave it to the category and not the company. It's just fair that we talk in that manner. So there are three big opportunities, Colin. One is we are in a very advanced stage of working with the global CPG client on not just on supply chain transparency, but how do we leverage first-party data which they have towards rewards, towards how do we manage rewarding content or rewarding advertisements they are watching there. Okay, that's a very big area where I think we can work a lot more closer. I think you and I spoke about the plans as well. On an equally interesting note is for the Indians who are watching it, or for the Commonwealth countries, it's about cricket, right? So there is going to be a good news coming soon, where we're going to partner with one of the leading cricket sports league in working on fan engagement on the chain. It is something which is very, very timely, because we are going to face a situation where it's going to be spectators not in the stadium but watching sports from the homes, and not because of whatever restrictions we have. So how do we engage and entertain the fans who cannot come to the stadium but who are watching from the screens, and reward them for the love they're showing to the franchise, the teams they are supporting? And I think there's something which is big that's going to come, and there is a huge opportunity for Aqilliz and Zilliqa to work on this together. Equally, again, as I said about COVID-related challenges, is rising connected TV or OTT viewership. Many people just work from home and watch TV from home, and the OTT players is a rising force right now. Not just Netflix or Hulu or conventional OTT players, but more players, and along with it comes rewarding them for watching content. And I think a project which you and I are working on with a company in India soon is going to be a fantastic opportunity, where we're going to see how we can partner with and create some enduring social pay equivalent type of projects where we can reward consumers for watching content. Colin, I think the time is just right. We are there at the right place at the right time. Next 2 quarters is going to be exciting. Yeah.
And also, technically, we're having some great talks, some symbiotic talks about combining the best features of our technology.
Absolutely. So I think you would have read about it yesterday. We just announced our loyalty programs with a telco player, My Rewards, which was a very successful program, and for IMDA to endorse it as a viable project is a big shot in the arm for both Zilliqa and Aqilliz. On the back of that, we can do a lot of work with telco players on how we can connect. Imagine you can connect My Rewards with social pay, and the rest is imagination in putting things in place. So it's all in the right place. I'm completely excited to where we are today, and the community will soon hear many more news coming their way.
Brilliant. We also want to thank you for putting us on the website. People do make comments about the tweet stream, and why is it you don't mention Zilliqa on every single tweet that you send out? I try and answer that, but it seems that we do mention it when the time is right, correct?
Absolutely. I have no problems mentioning it every time I tweet. Absolutely no problems. So I think it just makes sense to keep the context right so that people get the relevance of it. Otherwise, it'll just become wallpaper. So not to worry. Due credits all the time.
Great. Really appreciate the time you've given us, G-Man. Look forward to working with you for the remainder of the year. It's been a fantastic year. It's going to get bigger and bigger, as we can see. And I love the partnership with Aqilliz, and can't wait to work with you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Colin. Thanks, Antoine, and thanks, Zilliqa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Zach with Mintable.App, and today I want to share a little bit about what we're doing and how we're bringing the NFT ecosystem to the Zilliqa blockchain. So Mintable is a NFT marketplace where you can mint any item on the blockchain, and then you can monetize that, sell it, and earn crypto passively, and then you can engage your audiences that you have by offering these kind of unique possibilities with NFTs, which are digital items on the blockchain. So let's just kind of dive in real quick, and we're a marketplace. So that means that you can buy, sell, trade these digital creations. So right here, we have some artwork, we have a .zil domain, and this is the exciting part, is because these .zil domains, a lot of people have them, and they're really valuable, but there's not a good place to sell them, but now there is, and that's Mintable. So let's kind of go through and let's browse a little bit about what we have, and you can see, let's look at the Cyborg Crypto Bear. It's a 1 out of 1. So this is a collectible item, right? There's only going to be one of them made. It's on the blockchain. So you can verify that this is the true 1 out of 1 version that I have. And that's what makes it so valuable, right? It's got some nice artwork. It's got a good description about it. And it's going for $48. So if you wanted to buy this item, you could submit a transaction right here and you pay in ZIL. And then it's instantly swapped over from the seller to the buyer. So it's trustless, it's on a decentralized exchange, it's a smart contract. So you don't have to worry about a middleman, you don't have to worry about escrow services. You make a payment and then it's instantly given to your account, and the buyer or the seller gets the money that you sent. So it's a really nice system for being able to trade kind of valuable assets. If we wanted to look at some domains, let's see what domains we have. We have staysafe.zil, gothailand.zil, earnmoney.zil, and these are all really good domains, and you can see the prices: $5,000, $4,900. This is a lot of money. So the seller, he's going to make a lot of money when someone buys this, but they're also going to get that domain instantly put into their wallets, and then they control that domain now. So it's a really exciting opportunity for the Zilliqa blockchain to have this NFT ecosystem. We're doing a trading challenge when we launch July 30th on ZIL-3. This trading challenge is awesome because you can earn 120,000 ZIL is up for grabs, right? And that's a lot. So the first place winner will win 50,000 ZIL. And the way it works is you just create your store where you sell your items, and the most items sold for the highest price is the winner, right? There's going to be 10 winners, and overall, it's a really good opportunity to get some easy ZIL. But that's kind of what Mintable is about, is earning passive crypto. You make your items, your content, you tokenize it, and then you list it for sale, and one day you wake up and it's in your account. You've just made money while you were sleeping. And so to show you that, I can go to my earnings here, and we can see I've earned $296 from selling NFTs. And this isn't live, so these are all our power sellers that have early access. But once it's up, you'll be able to easily create an account and then go sell any of the items that you have on your computer. Any file, you can tokenize it and back it by the blockchain. So it's a really exciting opportunity, not only for the Zilliqa blockchain, but for you to earn some easy ZIL, and then to expand your brand and get your audiences engaged in different ways by having these unique tokens. So that's a little bit about Mintable, and we're going to be live, and so you can visit the site at Zilliqa.Mintable.App. So it's just Zilliqa.Mintable.App. And then you can create an account, and you can start listing your items. Really quick, I'll show you. We're not going to make an item, but this is how easy it is I just say, I'm making some artwork, or maybe I'm making a collectible. I put in my information, I put in the price that I want to sell it at. I upload my files that they get to download. The buyer gets to download if they purchase it, and then the images for the token. And then I submit the transaction, and then it's listed on the blockchain. It's created on the blockchain. It's listed for sale in a smart contract, and it's a very smooth and easy process. Within a minute or two, you can have your own smart contract with your own NFTs that you control and that you can make money from. So check us out. It's Zilliqa.Mintable.App, and we're super excited for ZIL-3 Day, and we're happy to be launching on ZIL-3, and we're also happy to bring the NFT ecosystem to Zilliqa's blockchain. So thank you.
Hi, Zilliqa community. I'm Brad, co-founder at Unstoppable Domains. I'm excited to be here as part of ZIL-3. It's been amazing to see all the progress from the community over the past years. And as some of you may know, Unstoppable Domains was a grantee of the Zilliqa Foundation all the way back in 2018. And we've seen tremendous growth, innovation, all kinds of exciting stuff happening in that time. For those of you who don't know too much about us, we're Unstoppable Domains. We believe that anyone in the world should be able to publish and transact online without fear of being censored. And the problem of censorship on the internet is severe, and it's getting worse. A decentralized web would fix this. A decentralized web is one where users are in control of their content, their data, and their assets, not companies. Users can decide what tools to use and what's okay to publish online, not companies. So we're onboarding the world to the decentralized web. We launched 2 domain registries, and the first one was launched on the Zilliqa blockchain called .zil. And as of today, more than 120,000 domains have been registered. This makes .zil one of the largest NFT dApps in the world. We also have a website called unstoppabledomains.com. It's similar to a GoDaddy where you can register domains. And so domains like .zil can be used to send cryptocurrency. I have Brad.zil. You can send me BTC, you can send me ZIL, you can send me ETH, or any other cryptocurrency you want, all to this one domain name. You can just type in Brad.zil and you can send. The same domain can also be used to host my decentralized website on IPFS, where only I can put it up and only I can take it down. And for those of you who don't have a .zil domain, we encourage you to go get one and try out the technology. And we're super excited about what the ZIL community has in store for the future. So if there's any way we can work together on a project, please reach out and let's brainstorm. So thanks again to the Zilliqa community for being so supportive and for helping to decentralize the world. I also wanted to give out a special thanks to Han Wen, to Amrit, to Max, and the rest of the community for everything you've done to help make what we've built possible. So thanks again, and have a great ZIL-3 Day.
Hi everyone, I'm Aymeric from Xfers. Xfers is a regulated payment company with presence in Singapore and Indonesia, which was founded in 2015 and which was one of the first startups to be part of Y Combinator in Southeast Asia. What we do is we enable and accelerate digital businesses in Southeast Asia by leveraging the latest digital payment technologies such as open APIs and open blockchain protocols such as Zilliqa. We make digital payment technology more accessible by lowering the barrier to entry, but also serving underbanked sectors. Another thing we do is we abstract away complexity for customers, be it digital complexity or regulatory complexity. In Singapore, we are a major payment institution. Last year, we processed over $1.5 billion of transactions across Singapore and Indonesia. And we offer a full suite of digital payment products such as the e-wallet, direct payment, and open APIs. At Xfers, I am leading StraitsX. StraitsX is the stablecoin initiative for Southeast Asia. Currently, we are working on releasing XSGD, the Singapore dollar stablecoin, which has been live for a few months now, but which will go also through a broader public launch later this month when it's become available on the Xfers platform directly. Together with Zilliqa, we have been in this partnership for over a year now to bring decentralized frictionless settlement to Singapore and Southeast Asia. Our engineers have been working very closely on building our stablecoin, but also on developing the ERC2 standard, which is the standard to build on top of Zilliqa. Our experience with Zilliqa, because we also work with other blockchain protocol, has been a faster, better, cheaper settlement protocol, which is particularly suitable for stablecoin transaction. We are very excited to continue with this partnership, and we are very excited also with the upcoming announcements over the coming weeks and months. And today, on the ZIL-3 day, we want to wish a very happy ZIL-3 day to every Zilliqan and every member of the community. Thank you very much.
Onchain Custodian is delighted to be supporting ZIL and ZRC tokens, embarking on a partnership with Zilliqa and Xfers to secure the StraitsX XSGD stablecoin. Here is an introduction to Onchain Custodian.
Expect the unexpected, so the saying goes. With digital asset investments on the rise, so are the threats that follow. Private key hacks, inefficient operational setup, and security compromises. What guarantees safe harbor from the risks that a new landscape brings? Imagine this: a future-proof platform engineered and designed by experts to keep digital asset investments from the wrong hands. An institutional-grade solution forged to be flexible, responsive, and secure. You know this to be true. Expect the unexpected. That's why we keep your assets absolute safe.
Hi, I'm Zhao, one of the founders of Xacademy, the world's first YouTube academy and YouTuber with over 2.5 million subscribers. I'm also a long-term Zilliqa holder. Becoming a YouTuber is the most wanted job of the young generation, which is why we created Xacademy. Today I'm happy to announce we're entering into a strategic partnership with Zilliqa to solve a major problem within our business and the YouTube space. Combining the knowledge of some of the world's best creators and promoters of video content, Xacademy is set to take things to the next level by building an incentive-based economy that rewards its burgeoning community of young students. Enter the blockchain. Thanks to the power of Zilliqa and the range of tokens it can host, Xacademy can plan a future world of peer-to-peer sharing and support that's natively built into the system, nurturing young talent and rewarding experienced pros alike. Slated for launch in Q4, the Zilliqa-powered Xacademy infrastructure will deliver speedy, safe, and meaningful rewards to millions of video viewers. We're very excited to disrupt the YouTube space with Zilliqa.
So much happening in this space. It's really great to see. And we can actually see the future of financial markets really being redefined with blockchain here as digital assets and tokens really begin to take center stage. Stable coins, both BUSD and XSGD are really clear examples here of the path forward being carved out right now. So it's really great to see. All right, well, next up, let's turn our attention now to the very heart of the Zilliqa ecosystem. Of course, you're staring at it right now. When you look in the mirror, it's you, it's the community. And let me tell you, I've heard a lot of things about this community. It's great to just hear the buzz. You are a talented, creative, supportive bunch of people, and you've played an instrumental role really driving increased visibility to Zilliqa and all its updates and milestones. And here to celebrate a third birthday, so happy birthday also to you, to your support. So with your feedback, you've really helped the team here grow, push the standards of excellence and quality as Zilliqa strives to do more. So I'd like to start off now with a video on Zillow's new and improved developer portal, and then be hearing from Andy Little, Zillocracy Council member, as he outlines what the community is up to these days. So Andy, over to you.
DevX is our new Zilliqa Explorer. DevX sets out to be a full-fledged, lightweight, developer-focused explorer, complementing existing services provided by our strategic partner, Viewblock. We know developers like to test in multiple environments, including testnet, mainnet, isolated server, or even their own laptops. With DevX, you can easily add new networks and set the defaults. To a developer, the ability to visualize smart contract interaction is essential. DevX provides an efficient user interface, allowing you to view initialization parameters, contract state, source code, and the interaction with smart contract transitions. Need to bookmark a smart contract or transaction? Don't worry. DevX easily handles that. What's more, you can easily import and export to another laptop. We have integrated DevX with our Neo Savant IDE seamlessly. With this integration, you can easily check out smart contract transactions invoked from the IDE on DevX. Furthermore, we provided a dedicated Explorer page for the IDE's isolated server environment. Our next iteration of DevX will see on-chain data being pulled and stored within a GraphQL database using the Apollo platform. With GraphQL, relationships between various objects such as addresses and transactions are stored in a graph. This allows anyone to easily create new APIs tailoring to their specific needs. We expect this to open many new fronts, such as better data analytics for Zilliqa. We are calling this project DevX Apollo. Want to try out DevX? visit devx.zilliqa.com, or alternatively, visit our GitHub repository to get access to the source code.
Hi guys, and welcome to the first ever Zilocracy presentation. Today I'll be talking you through the different things about Zilocracy and giving you some huge updates. If you don't already know, I'm Angie Little, and I'm the head of marketing for the Zilocracy project. So let's get started and jump straight into this, because I know time is of the essence. So today we'll be covering these topics: what is Zilocracy, meet the team, Zilocracy in numbers, completed projects, project updates, and the future of Zilocracy. So what is Zilocracy, I hear you ask? Zilocracy exists to nurture the talent found within the community and to propel the network forward. As we all know, community is at the forefront of the Zilocracy initiative. Members can participate in a number of technical and non-technical projects and be rewarded for their hard work. So Zilocracy was set up to help nurture the talent and to get you guys to help us take the platform to the next level. So it's all community based and insensitized. So who's the team? As you know, you've probably met these people around in the community before. You've got myself, who's in marketing. You've got Benjamin Shawaz, who's the technical advisor. Desmond Decker, who's the project owner. And JG Whiteley, who's the business development. We were the first 4 council members handpicked to take this project forward. We get a strong support from the Zilliqa team, who help us in every way they can possible to take the project forward and with the more technical aspects of development. Let's jump into Zilocracy in numbers. The total number of applicants we've had so far is 56 since the introduction of Zilocracy. There's 12 projects currently undergoing in the Zilocracy Hub. And currently there's 15 projects that have been approved by the Zilocracy Council and successfully implemented back into the community and the blockchain. So the project's been live since about February this year. So everything's going really well at the minute, and we've managed to get some quite good numbers. But moving on to the next bit, there's 15 different countries of applications. So this can range from anywhere from, let's say, Iceland to Europe. We're getting a really big reach of people that are interested in developing. The website's had over 10,000 individual addresses checking it out. So we're all getting the numbers in, and people are interested in what we're doing. Currently, there's 6 projects available on the Zilocracy Hub on the website. So these are ongoing projects that may have teams already starting, but are looking for members to join. So go check them out. We're going to move on now to the quick updates. So these are the projects that are now completed on this. Community surveys are a key tool in demonstrating community sentiment and extracting valuable feedback. So as we all know, getting information and feedback from the community is key. And with Zilocracy taking this as a project, it lets Zilliqa free up time, and it gets us to get the information from you guys and deliver it straight to the team. We've successfully implemented a community survey already with the help of Dom from the crypto community. So this was really good information and really good feedback. Stack Exchange. The Zilocracy Stack Exchange has been moving forward quite well, and we've already asked for help from the community to get it to the next stages. At the minute, it's at the commit phase, and we need the help from the community to keep getting it through each phase. So if you can look at the information below and help out, that would be great. The Stack Exchange basically helps developers in a more user-friendly experience for different sources to look on the Zilliqa blockchain and get the information they need. So it's key to have one of these available. Educational videos. In the ever-changing crypto space, educational videos play a key role in increasing exposure on social media. As we've seen, there's been a lot of educational videos about different projects building on Zilliqa. So this helps expand the community and helps draw in new developers to look at the platform. So this is a project that we always are keen to take on. As you know, about a month ago, we did have our very first battle in the Battle of the Mage. The designs that were submitted were unreal, and there was finally the winner of the design contest was Chris, who's a very talented designer, and won the contest with his entry God Zilliqa. We believe that contests play a really good role in the community, and this will only be the first of many to come, and we can't wait to do more with you guys. So stay tuned, there'll be a one coming out very soon. Right, now we're going to move into projects that are ongoing. Some of these have been ongoing for a while, and some of them have only just started. So I'll explain as we go along. Zilocracy Wikipedia. The Zilocracy Wikipedia project is still ongoing. It's been going on for a while now, but due to Wikipedia's rules and regulations, we're limited to how much we can edit and contribute. But the project is moving forward, and I can guarantee it'll be done soon. Listening to social trends is the next project we're going to talk about. Social media is a powerful driver in the crypto industry, and we always like to have our finger on the pulse. So following crypto trends, if it's like TikTok or making new contests or video contests to try and lure more developers and get more exposure on social media. So social media plays a key part, and we're always keen to look for more projects in the social media space. One of the biggest projects that we have now up our sleeve is the Zilocracy Seed Node. I know a lot of people are waiting for updates on this project. So let's look. The community members will be able to stake their ZIL on Moonlit.io. Staking will be non-custodial. You'll be in control of your funds at all times. And the planned release date of this is the end of Q3. So the project has been going along really well, and there's been no real hiccups. So the release at the end of Q3 looks very likely, and it looks like it's going to go ahead. We've also got a little demo for you guys. This is a video from Adrian from the Moonlit team. He's going to show you a bit about the Moonlit staking wallet and what you can expect.
Hey everyone, this is Adrian, co-founder and CEO of Moonlit. I'm going to share with you today a quick snapshot about the non-custodial staking feature that we are building for Zilliqa. So let's get started. Once you have the Moonlit app open, from dashboard, go to your account page, tap quick stake, either stake to only one node or to multiple nodes. Tap next, then add your amount you want to stake and confirm. Enter your PIN code and wait till your transactions are signed. Now the stake balance was updated and the transactions are visible in the transactions tab. We will send you notifications when you need to claim your rewards. Tap a notification and on the account page, claim your reward. Enter the PIN code and wait till the transaction is signed. In case you miss the notification, go to Notification Center, tap on the relevant notification, and claim your reward. I hope you enjoyed and see you live soon.
The next slide I want to bring to you guys is applying for a project. You can embark on your Zilocracy journey today. Zilocracy has some exciting open community projects that are listed on Zilocracy.com. If you see a project that you're interested in, picking up, we offer a warm welcome to you and simply apply via the website. You can also pitch your own project if you have a great idea to boost the Zilliqa ecosystem. We're always looking for new applicants to come on board and to help out with the Zilocracy initiative. So guys, if you see a project that you like on the website, don't hesitate to apply. We'll be in touch, and it's a really good experience for you and for us. Before I go, I'd just like to say a massive thank you. And if you want to apply for Zilocracy, I've just explained how. You can head over to the Zilocracy.com website and keep up to date with all the news and projects at our Twitter handle @Zilocracy. In 2019 and 20, we set the foundation for Zilocracy, but it isn't all about us. It's about the community coming together to take Zilliqa forward. We've had the pleasure of working with many talented people and hard-working individuals, and looking forward to working with so many more. So move forward with us in taking Zilliqa forward. I'd like to thank you for all your time. It's been a great opportunity to talk to you all. And until the next time, guys, see you later. Bye.
Have another Zilliqa video for you
to invest in Zilliqa. Also, this video is not sponsored. Well, Zilliqa is a high-performance, high-security blockchain platform made for enterprises and next-generation applications.
I want to talk about Zilliqa, ticker ZIL.
Today we're going to be talking about Zilliqa once again.
This is content. I'm an investor. Enterprises building on blockchain solutions such as Zilliqa.
Zilliqa was introduced in 2017 and it's centered around the idea of sharding.
Today we're going to be talking about why I'm so bullish on Zilliqa.
how you can create your own smart contracts from scratch, no prior knowledge needed on Zilliqa.
Thank you. Always great to see ourselves number one on Lunar Crush. And we're also very lucky to welcome John from Lunar Crush all the way over there in California. Pretty early in the morning there, buddy.
It is. Nice to see you again, Colin. Yeah, it's about 7:30, 7:42, I guess, right now, and bright and early.
Almost on schedule. So the boot's on the other foot. I think we had a live interview a couple of weeks ago when you were asking all the questions.
Yeah, this is great. This is great. I'm glad to be here again with you. It's great.
Now I get the chance to ask you a few questions. We've had quite a year in social media marketing terms, and we get a few moments now to reflect on that. But of course, I'd really appreciate if you perhaps explain to our community, wider community, what Lunar Crush is all about and how you position yourselves in the marketplace.
Absolutely, happy to. Well, what we say typically is, without community, there is no crypto. There's approximately 5,000 or so projects out there, and when we actually look at the community activity around most of them, there's nothing. There's very little, or the efforts are, campaign oriented, and then it falls away. And so, really, what we're about is providing transparency around the community activities. And really clarity so that, investors can understand what exactly is going on. So we look at those trends over time, and we do that in a few different ways. So we have lunarcrush.com, and on lunarcrush.com, we have approximately 25 different metrics around social insights around about 2,000 coins at this point. Within that, we provide all that data is real time. And it's free. It's free to sign up. So we wanted to build a platform that everyone could access because, ourselves, we're investors first. And, when we started getting into this space, we didn't follow the right people. We didn't go to the right places to understand as much as we possibly could about the projects that we care the most about. And we really wanted to capture everything. And so when we say everything on a daily basis, it's approximately 500,000 posts or so that we're actually capturing, we're organizing, we're using machine learning and a natural language processing library to make sense of all of the posts, whether they're very bullish, very bearish, neutral, if they're spam or not. And we do a lot of different things around all of that data. So sure, you can access that on a coin detail page. And that coin detail page is real time. So you're getting everything that's going on right now across lots of different social channels. We also have these different apps that we've built out within lunarcrush.com. One of those is a feeds app where you can see all of the posts. Another is a comparison app where you can compare one coin against another. Another example is we have an influencers app, which is actually proven to be quite popular, where in real time we tell you who's most influential per coin based on the time period right now. And the last thing that we have on there is development tools. And those development tools, we have a real-time, we call it Lunar Stream, which is our WebSocket API. And we have exchanges and funds that are using that data and custom apps that are using that data to build other applications on top of it.
Great. Well, you posted a screenshot of the number of social engagements for Zilliqa in 2020. And it was somewhere around 490 million, around about the time we started our social pay campaign for ZIL-3. So I think I was angling to see if we'd actually crossed the 500 million social engagement marks on the platform. Not sure if you've got that to hand, but that's an interesting metric.
I will refresh here and take just a look in a second. Did you say over the last year?
No, the last half year we had 490 million.
Okay.
Yeah, and I always know you're plugged into your data, so I can always ask you those things on the fly.
Yeah, you were right, just at about 500 million engagements over the last 6 months.
There you go. You're going to have a 500 million social engagement party, as well as the ZIL-3 party.
Yeah. Yeah, what's exciting about engagement too is it's not just top level posts. Anyone out there can post, hey, Zilliqa is going to the moon, and they have no followers, they have no retweets, likes, anything. And that's different versus if, say, Elon Musk were to say, I'm all in on Zilliqa, right? And all of a sudden you get a ton of engagement. And so social engagement is incredibly important because it really looks at the depth of what's going on out there. You know, do you have an actual community that cares? And, you know, when we look at, it's interesting because I want to talk about social pay. I'm sure you have some questions about that, but, you know, it's interesting because, you know, we've posted some updates ourselves on it. And some people, you know, the bearish individuals out there say, well, that's great. They launched a marketing campaign. Who cares? But on the flip side, when you look at the engagement around it, it sticks. People are interacting. And not only are they interacting, the most exciting piece is when your campaign has been off for the past, you know, you've launched 3 campaigns for social pay. One just ended. And in between all of those campaigns, your engagement has done nothing but go up versus before they launched. And so it's kind of, you know, it's interesting to look at that activity as, you know, yes, it's in a sense, it's like hiring an influencer and then that influencer is gone. However, if you're sticking in between and your growth is happening in between, you're doing a lot right. And so I applaud you guys because you're doing a great job at marketing. It's doing well.
Thanks so much. People talk about the correlation. That's always a key question. What's the correlation? If you issue marketing campaigns, announcements, and so on, do you automatically get correlated to a price increase or something like that? Is it that simple?
So we actually have something called correlation rank, and it's not as simple as, is it always the same? You know, it varies per coin and it varies based upon time frame. If you're going to say like for example, Twitter was hacked 2 weeks ago here. And when Twitter was hacked, that probably drove a lot of social activity because it was going crazy. That didn't necessarily correlate immediately to price. But I will tell you something that's fascinating since is that the activity around Bitcoin after has done nothing but go up. And wouldn't you know, the price has also gone up. So it's very strange how sometimes things work in this space. But yeah, with correlation rank, we have a scale from 1 to 5, and 5 being literally almost perfectly correlated. You know, as of right now, or I should say as of yesterday, ZIL was a 3.5 out of 5. And on an hourly basis, it may move up to 5. So, or it may move down to 2, depending on the time frame. But I'd say overall, it's way more correlated than not. In fact, if anything, what we typically see, and it's not just on Zilliqa, but across the market, we end up seeing that a lot of this social activity precedes price. Because as the community becomes more engaged, more involved, and grows, and then the projects do more mainstream activities to get that community to participate, it tends to lead to trading activity just in general. And I'd say, you know, it's almost like looking at social as you should almost start it as a macro exercise and understand, is this project legitimate? Is there a community that could translate into wallets, that could translate into trading activity? So there's nothing great about illiquid trading assets. And, you know, you definitely want to be able to trade your coin someday to someone else. And have a community that's going to participate in that trading as well.
Completely. Well, I know we only had a short time to catch up with you, and I really appreciate you getting up so early to join us and share your insights. We've been working with you very closely over the last 6 months, watching everything on Lunar Crush. It's really helped us a lot, and I appreciate everything you've done in terms of your sharing, and of course, it's all for free. Nothing could be better than that. Thanks, John. Really appreciate it.
Sure. I'll just add that Zilliqa is today's coin of the day, and we had nothing to do with that. It's all algorithmic. So the system chose it. So pretty cool stuff.
Lovely surprise. Thanks, John.
Sure. Thanks, Colin.
Hello, everyone. This is Milan from the marketing team of Zilliqa. Thank you all for joining our town hall event today. Great to have you all here. As you know that leading up to this event, you can see firsthand with Social Pay how critical social media can be to develop positive, sustainable engagement with all of you. And we want to keep experimenting with new ideas to innovate, drive utility, and interest towards Zilliqa. And since Mintable just launched the NFT marketplace on Zilliqa, we like to celebrate this by organizing a contest and introducing our new DeFi City theme NFTs, which you can win, trade, and/or redeem for special prizes. So we will be giving away 4 Zilliqa limited edition NFT cards via a 48-hour Twitter contest. Each card's value is tied to a merch item on our official Zilliqa store. The value of each card will be fluctuating over a 2-week period and can therefore either go up or go down. This is decided based on a coin toss through a live video, which will indicate if it increases or decreases in value. If it goes up, you will be able to redeem your card for a merch item that's more expensive, but if it goes down, you'll be able to redeem your card for an item that's less expensive. So there will only be 10 pieces available for each card, which is 40 cards in total. And what you need to do is retweet our tweet when we introduce this contest and use the hashtags Zilliqa NFT, ZIL-3, and tag the Mintable.App in the next 48 hours. Afterwards, we will select the 10 winners for each card, and once you receive the card, you will be able to trade them for ZIL on the marketplace, redeem them for an item on the store, or hold them and have them potentially increase or decrease in value. You need to make sure to sign up to ZIL Pay for us to send you your NFT card, and don't worry if you miss some of the information. You can reread it on our blog, which will be posted on our Twitter. These are the first 2 cards. DeFi City is our own creative representation of what a city fully powered by the blockchain could look like. And since all of you have talked about God Zilliqa so many times, he basically got summoned and is now also part of the future of DeFi. So the DeFi card's current value is 1 baseball cap or 1 pom-pom beanie, and the God Zilliqa's current value is 1 Zilliqa t-shirt. Next here we have Zillaman, as some of you may recognize, and our very own guest of honor CZ, who as you can see is powered by Binance. The Zillaman's card current value is 1 silver stainless travel mug, and the CZ card's current value is 1 crewneck sweatshirt. And after you redeem your card, you're also able to receive it back for you to have as a collectible. So contact us also for that if you're interested. So as an example how this would work is that let's say you won the CZ card. You can either redeem it right away or in a few days for a crewneck sweatshirt, or you can wait for the coin toss. And if it goes up during the coin toss, the card's value will be going up as well, and will be tied to a Zilliqa backpack. And you could then decide to redeem it, trade it for ZIL on the marketplace, or wait again to potentially get a premium hoodie if it goes up again. And naturally it can also go down in price, but perhaps you will actually like a baseball cap, so you may want it to actually decrease in value. So that, there are many options available once you enter this contest with others. So it could be very fun. And one last thing is that because God Zilliqa started from the bottom, it will be the only card that can jump 2 places up and can decrease in value. So if God Zilliqa loses its coin toss, it means that it will just hold its position and it will not go down. So yeah, this is it. Thank you all for participating in the town hall event again, and I look forward to this contest with all of you. And if you have any questions, you can always contact me or others from the team on Telegram and Twitter. And all info will also be naturally available on the blog in case you missed something. So yeah, good luck.
All right, it's back to us now. And in fact, it is the audience's turn to ask all the questions. It is that time of the evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are joining us from around the world. We got a lot of questions to field. So we've got the Zilliqa team all across from where they are, all across teams, whether it's tech, biz dev, programming language, Scylla, we've got you covered here. We have the range of experts. They're all here to answer the best questions in the time that we have. Hanwen Chua, VP Ecosystem Growth Zilliqa, welcome. We've also got Sayan Chowdhury, CTO of Zilliqa, Junhao Tan, co-founder, SVP Security and Platform Engineering of Zilliqa, and we got Ilya Sergey, he's a lead language developer at Zilliqa, of course, and Michael Conn, CEO-Designate, Zilliqa Capital. So hi, everybody. You ready?
Hello. Yeah. We're ready.
Okay, so here we go. I've got all of my questions that have been fielded by the team. So, okay, so this one is for Sayan from Kahil Investment LLC, and I hope I pronounced that right. And the question is there any new news with ZIL and HG Exchange?
Okay, so that's an interesting question because AG Exchange is now in the sandbox and well on the way to be like completely live after about 6 months. Having said that, AG Exchange is a private exchange. It deals with all the private securities, and what we are looking at is a different class of other kind of asset classes. So it's not only private securities, but it could be other assets that could be digitized, and the same thing could be done on the smart contracts. So it's all exciting time ahead, and yeah, AG Exchange will fly.
All right, thanks, Sayan. Okay, all right, for Hanwen, you ready? Okay, this is from one of our audience logging in, Jeet Mishra. He says, hello all. Any roadmap to bring more developers on board?
Yeah, about that, we are targeting the developer community a few different ways. First, we're going to create education. That's where zero-hype education comes about. So we have a dedicated that runs twice a year, and each time is for 7 weeks. So we are in the midst of the second developer bootcamp for this year, and out of which this talents we educate, we are going to kind of like channel them directly into the accelerator program as to make sure that the talent pipeline is not wasted. And also we also going to offer the grants program, which is zero-hype grants, past 1.5 years, and now we're about around $2 million worth of grants to all the 70 different projects from different countries. And I think that most of them have built products which the community is kind of using right now, and I'm quite proud of all the grantees thus far. And if anyone because you're applying for the grants, the grants app, the process is always open, so you can go to zero-hype.org to apply. And about the other parts about the developer adoption-wise, things like hackathon, videos, and everything with regards to like developer evangelism and talk, those will be done by my new colleague, which is Anna, who's the evangelist at Zilliqa. And I'm very proud of what he's going to plan ahead for Zilliqa in the next half quarter.
I tried to listen really carefully, but Hanwen, I think we have some digitization with your audio. But I think the big takeaway was, I think this is the thing that everybody heard, was the $2 million for the accelerator program in terms of grants. So that's going to be really exciting news. All right. So for Michael, Mark Hoyce is asking a question for you. You ready? Okay, Michael. And the question is regarding Zilliqa Capital. Will the capital security token offered during the STO also be available to the Zilliqa community, or only accredited investors just like HG Exchange?
That's an excellent question. The plan for the security token for Zilliqa Capital is for it to be available across multiple jurisdictions, and it would be tailored to the security laws of each of those jurisdictions, and that would be focused globally. So the plan is to allow broad investor participation and broad community participation in that.
Got it. Great. Okay, Jin Hao, you're up. You ready? Okay, this is from Wild and Witty, and the question is, Zilliqa is working with Switcheo for DEX with interoperability that is right now just 2 to 3 blockchains.
Yeah.
Any plans to connect Zilliqa with most of the blockchains?
Yes. So you can see that Switcheo is actually an amazing team, and they have built a DEX for Ethereum, EOS, NEO, and finally Zilliqa. So as we move on, we also are interested to work with more projects, especially in the OpenFi ecosystem. For example, in terms of stablecoins, in terms of payment system. These are the areas that we are very, very interested to work with other blockchain and connect with them. Yep.
All right, good stuff. So, but that's a lot of work to do. So
Yep.
that's we're gonna pay really close attention there. Okay, Ilya, are you ready? Okay, this is from user Katas, and the question is this. Has Zilliqa initiated with the aim to resolve the issues in the smart contract platform? What will be ZIL's USP apart from Zilla verifiability security once if Ethereum 2.0 launches solving scalability with POS?
Wonderful question, the user Katas, and thank you, Angie, for transmitting it. All right. So when we designed Zilla, the smart contract language for Zilliqa blockchain, our goals were quite different from those of Ethereum, where Ethereum went for ultimate expressivity, meaning that it would be very easy for the clients of the blockchain write applications in the same way they used to write them in languages like JavaScript. We took a slightly different design decision to create a new language that would provide exactly the set of features that smart contract developers might need, and just no more features than they probably would not need, but that would make the language very, very difficult to comprehend both by humans and by the automated tools. And this design decision had long-lasting consequences. For example, it enabled a number of analyses to provide for the set security guarantees that we are advertising, and also it allowed us to advance the verification. But since the question was about what we will have to offer once the Ethereum 2.0 with the sharding and the proof of stake will launch, so to that I can say that we have just finished an exciting piece of work that leverages this set of features of our language that allowing to create the analysis that will tell how the Zilliqa blockchain infrastructure can execute the smart contracts in parallel in a more efficient way. So the same scalability power that Zilliqa brings for executing the user-to-user transactions that transfer the money, it will also bring for smart contracts. And this is not trivial at all, because it actually requires the software that we have written to analyze the contracts as they are deployed by the users. And there are many challenges related to that. For example, how to analyze that efficiently, how to make it fast, and how to infer whether the contracts are amenable to such executions. So we have run a number of experiments from medium to the large scale and confirmed that smart contracts such as ERC20 or the unstoppable domains, of which we have heard earlier today, they actually can be executed very, very efficiently given this technology. In a sense, the more shards you introduce to the network, the faster, the larger throughput you get in a number of transactions. So with Zilliqa infrastructure, there will be no problems such as congestion of the system, which the Ethereum community might know from the contracts such as CryptoKitties. We are very excited about this project. It took a long time. It involved some fantastic researchers whom we have taken on board and who have spearheaded this work in terms of the development and key technical design decision. Unfortunately, I cannot share more details right now. The work is currently undergoing the peer review by the scientific community, and we are hoping for some good outcomes there. But keep up with us, and soon we will share some exciting details of this work about how we address the scalability on Zilliqa in the presence of smart contracts, and how we will and how it will be matching or exceeding what Ethereum will hopefully have to offer with its 2.0 iteration.
Ilya, as they say in the business, stay tuned. Thank you for that. That's good to keep an eye on. All right, Hanwen, I think we've fixed your audio here. So question from Mark Hoyce for you, okay? Is there any estimation on how many non-custodial staked seed nodes will be available in the third quarter?
For Zilliqa side, the seed nodes, currently the infrastructure can support up to 30, but because there's uncapped, right? So you don't actually have to care how many seed nodes operators there are. So one seed node operator, if they are offering a very lucrative deal, like maybe like 0.1% fee cut, then they probably will take out the majority of the whole staking pool. So it doesn't matter how many seed node operators, unless you want to, unless we were talking about like whether they want to choose the people that they like the most or to trust the most. But yes, it can support up to 30, and we are talking to 4 right now. So there's an additional to the 2 non-delegated version, which is Binance and KuCoin, and we can offer the other positions out over time, and we will let the community decide over time to using some kind of like voting mechanisms in the future.
Got it. All right, Michael. There's a change happening afoot, and this is a question top of mind for a lot of people. Zilliqa ecosystem has seen a great deal of growth. In terms of investment opportunities via Zilliqa Capital as well as ZIL-Hive, are you looking to expand your presence in any other markets?
Well, the focus is in APAC and ASEAN and India, but the focus of Zilliqa Capital will be global. So we're looking for opportunities where and if they make sense. We're going to closely collaborate with Han Wen and the rest of the ZIL-Hive team as we look at opportunities. But really, the main emphasis here is bringing opportunities, bringing developers, bringing growth to the Zilliqa blockchain ecosystem wherever it makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Michael. And question for Junhao here. Staking was obviously a key addition to the network that a lot of people in the community were looking forward to. What are some other Zilliqa improvement proposals that you're especially interested in?
Yes. So you can see that in the past few months, we actually have written quite a couple of proposals. First one is on Scylla library. So with the integration of Scylla library into the core protocol, we can expand Scylla, and as such, a contract author can actually import a library and use it in their smart contract. So this is one area that I'm actually very interested and excited about. And also there is also upcoming ZIP, and there is governance. And in fact, Amrit gave a teaser this morning on Twitter. Basically, it's governance for miners, and we want to build in a voting mechanism within the core protocol such that the miners can vote on proposal over a duration of time, and we can collect the sentiments of the miners and make more decision on how we should adjust various parameters within the core protocol. And this is something that we have been working on for the past 1 month. And yeah, stay tuned in Q3 to look out for this ZIP.
That's Zilocracy right there. It's the democracy of the Zilocracy community put into action. Thank you so much for that. All right, Cyan, a question for you. Obviously, reaching 6 million transactions since the mainnet launch. Does the team have a target in mind for this year?
Mm-hmm. It's a bit speculative, but I think we should easily reach like 10 million before the end of the year.
Okay, yeah. That's a short but sweet answer. 10 million by the end of the year. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. You got 6 months left to do it. So those are goals there, my friend. All right, this one is potentially for Ilya. Ilya, you ready? This question from the community here. As Zilliqa initiated with the aim to resolve the issues in the smart contract platform, what would be ZIL's USP apart from Scylla? Actually, no, we asked this one already, Ilya. Okay, sorry, I read you answered that one already. Let me ask you this one. Security is a key value proposition enabled by Scylla as a programming language amenable to formal verification while being non-Turing complete. So can you share more about why the team decided to design the language in this way, despite the fact that most modern programming languages today are Turing complete?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Angie, for this question. So we have just seen the prevention of double spending of the question. In any event, so this one was about Turing completeness, and this is the property of the languages that I have already touched upon in my previous answer. Basically, how expressive is your programming language, how familiar it feels for the developers who used to program in languages like C++, JavaScript, or Go, and with Scylla we took slightly different turn. And since I've already mentioned one of the greatest things we had recently, which is this new approach for sharding smart contracts, let me mention another one. So a verification expert on our team, Anton Tronov, has been working on very neat tooling support for formal verification of smart contracts, and that is essentially push-the-button verification. So the only thing that the user will have to provide is a number of logically defined properties that she does expect should hold of smart contracts. So what is going to happen then is that a Scylla contract is going to be automatically translated through some intermediate language and run through the tool called TLA model checker, which is an industry standard for formal verification. And after that, the result will be given whether the contract absolutely abides by those properties and nothing will possibly go wrong as far as this property hold, or there is an error in the contract and this one will be pointed out. So instrumenting something like this would be extremely difficult for a language such as JavaScript or Solidity, and I don't say it's impossible, I just say it would be a Herculean effort. And well, with Scylla and with its limited set of features, which coincides with the fact that it's non-Turing complete, this is something that we were able to achieve in a matter of a few months with one very, very skilled software developer. All right.
Skills. Indeed. All right. Hey, Ilya, thank you so much for that and playing along. All right. This is, we're almost out of time. So we have our last question for Sion from Barry Young from the community. And Barry asks, could you elaborate on Zilliqa's 2.0 improved architecture to enhance latency and speed?
Okay. Actually, we have done profiling of the network, and we know that which are the main points where we can improve, and we can improve the latency, and we can actually do some improvements on the network characteristics. So that's the plan, and we are already rolling out the changes in the code, and things should improve over time. So we will definitely see some real tangible numbers which are good. Yeah.
These are great questions. I hope you all had a good time. These were tough questions. These were candid questions, but you guys nailed it, and it was great. It was just really great to have the community just ask some really pointed questions, and I hope that you got the answers from the Zilliqa team. So, hey, thanks, guys. Thanks so much, and happy third birthday to everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Well, you heard from the Zilliqa team. You heard from a lot of people. We started the evening off today with CZ, one of the partners, of course. We heard from the founders, some serious OGs in this space, and then we heard from the rest of the team. And of course, we heard from you, most importantly. And so I want to thank you all for joining Zilliqa here for the first virtual town hall that this has been. This is truly unprecedented times but you made it unprecedented because you joined us here. And these were candid conversations that only you could have stoked. So thanks for all of your questions, and thanks for joining us tonight or through the morning and certainly into the afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And now that you've asked the questions, it is time for you to answer some questions as well. And this is to everybody logging in, part of the Zilliqa community, because Bolt will be hosting a lightning round quiz on their app right now, right after this live event. So after I finish talking, you get right on that app and you're going to try to win some ZIL bucks. Okay, so get some ZIL dollars. If you paid attention today, it should be pretty easy to crack the quiz. So I hope you'll join Bolt right after this event. And then just a little bit of light housekeeping. The Zilliqa team would love to hear from the Zilliqa community. So take 5 minutes to complete the post-event survey. The Zilliqa team would love to know how your experience was with your first virtual town hall. And so we're going to be sending out a link soon on Zoom, Twitter, and Telegram. So please look out for it. And then for me, a personal note of thanks. It has been obviously an incredible journey, and one that I really take alongside you as a community, as an audience who is just so engaged in the cryptocurrency and DLT and blockchain space. Zilliqa is among so many stories that are incredibly interesting and innovative, not only from Asia, this part of the world, but truly around the world. And it's the community, the readers, the viewers that really, are taking the lead here, and we're just following right along. So we're here to serve, and so I want to thank you and say good night or good afternoon, good morning. I'm Angie, Editor-in-Chief and CEO of Forkast.News, and do find us there. In the meantime, keep talking to each other, keep networking, keep celebrating. And it's been a truly memorable couple of hours that I spent with you. And thank you for your support, your unfailing support for Zilliqa. And so happy birthday, happy 3rd birthday, Zilliqa. And we'll see you next year. Bye, everyone.